Hey people, my name's Tim. I'm head ninja at Exposure Ninja, which is a 100-person digital marketing agency. And in this video, I'm going to share the things that I wish I'd known on day one. First up, I wish I'd known not to hire too quickly. Well, we learned a whole bunch of hiring lessons is the more positive way of thinking about it. In the early days of Exposure Ninja, we had a physical office space, which we got after about 2 years of running the company. And we decided that we needed to fill it with people because we had all of these desks and all these chairs that we needed bodies in. Otherwise, it kind of looked a little bit empty. So we just started filling it up with people. Now, these people weren't always the best suited person for that particular role. We'd previously always hired remote because it means that we can choose the exact right person for the role, not just the person closest to us. But in this case, our hiring criteria was maybe a little bit different to what the role needed. And we made some decisions which I think with hindsight, we probably wouldn't have made. And it nearly cost us the company. So that would be my first thing, don't hire too quickly. On the other side, of course, you don't want to hire too slowly and take on all of the work yourself. I also did that in the early days and spent the first probably year and a half doing way too much of everything myself because I thought that only I can do it. If it needs to be done to this standard, I need to be the one who does it. And guess what? I learned that actually when you put great people who have a slightly different mindset to you, but whose mindset perfectly complements the role that you're looking for, actually they can do it way better than I can. So I hired too slowly and too quickly. Great job. The second thing I wish I'd known on day one is to build a scalable and repeatable marketing and sales process. So this is the new business process that you use to get clients, in our case, or customers if you're running a different type of business. Once we got this in place, it allowed us to scale much, much faster and much smoother. Winning a lot of new business does a lot to paper over the cracks, and in the early days of starting a business, there's gonna be a lot of cracks. So you need a whole bunch of paper to get over those bad boys. And if you've got a lot of new business coming in, that means, well, you can be selective about the business that you take on, but also if things do go wrong, you know that you've got a whole bunch of cash in the bank so that you can reinvest. We waited too long to build out that scalable sales process. Everything was quite ad hoc. We didn't have things like proposal templates. We didn't have as rigid a marketing review process. So just to kind of rewind how Exposure Ninja gets clients, we have our website, and every piece of marketing that we do funnels people to our website to request this free website and marketing review. That has been the staple of our growth, because when we train people how to do these reviews and then we train them how to do the proposals, we can put people in that role to sell and to bring on new clients. Then all we have to do is funnel more people in at the top, and we have this process that we know works. In the early days, everything was a lot more ad hoc. There'd be a lot more consultation, there'd be a lot more chit chat with clients or potential clients before they came on board. So having that reliable, scalable marketing and sales process was really, really important. The next thing I wish I'd known is to embrace more of what makes you different. So since I chose the name Exposure Ninja back in 2012, I think, various much better educated people than me have been telling me to change the name because it's not really serious. And the same with the little ninja character, Shinobi. People say, yeah, but you know, if a company is going to invest money in their digital marketing, they want someone who looks serious. They don't want someone who looks a bit weird or cartoony. And for a while we went the other way. We kept the name, but we tried to, we moved signs of ninjas, and we were very bland, if you like, because we thought that bland and safe meant that more people would like us. Actually, it's totally wrong. The initial reason for having the little ninja was that it makes us look completely different from everyone else. You've got to stand out in a market, particularly a crowded market like digital marketing. So I wish that we backed our early gut. We had this period of blandness, so we were like crazy quirky, super bland, and now we're going a bit more quirky again. We've got loads of Shinobis all over the place. Interestingly, at the show that we did, the B2B marketing show last week, we had more Shinobis there than ever before. And it was great. We even had these little cutout Shinobis and people loved it. We actually got compliments about how much people like Shinobi, even though he's quite aggressive and he's often frowning. People like that. People like the aggression and the branding. So yeah, I wish we'd kind of backed ourselves a bit more. Another thing that we didn't back ourselves on was being remote. I've talked loads about this, so I'm not going to go into it more now, but going to the office we were kind of second guessing ourselves and trusting other people more than trusting our own instincts about that. And looking back, that was a mistake. So I wish we'd embraced more what makes us different, and we'd been more confident that that would help us succeed. The next thing I wish we'd learned earlier is to implement a profit share and give each department manager total control over their teams. Now, having a profit share and rewarding management based on the profitability of their departments means that each manager is essentially treating their department as a mini business underneath Exposure Ninja. And this works really well because that's kind of the mindset that you want from each department and from each of your managers if you're not going to micromanage them. And micromanagement is definitely not my style. So I'd much rather set up a model in a way that when people pull in the same direction as Exposure Ninja, they get rewarded. So I wish we'd implemented that sooner, because that sense of ownership I think is great. It really helps managers feel engaged and it helps get everyone pulling in the same line. At some point, I would love to roll out a company-wide profit share just to scale that impact. But I'm not going to lie, the admin headache of it just seems mental. Even setting up the management profit share, it probably took us about a month to come up with a financial model that actually worked. And then it takes a bit of accounting throughout the year to be reporting on that as well. But we came up with something which works, and we're absolutely loving it. So that's something else I wish we'd done. The next lesson I wish we'd learned earlier was to invest more in our own marketing. Now that sounds kind of weird coming from a marketing agency, but to be honest, our own digital marketing really hasn't been a priority at Exposure Ninja until maybe a couple of years ago. Until about 4 years ago, we hadn't really ever consciously optimized our own website, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's something I really regret now, not because the visibility would have given us more clients, which we desperately needed, but because with more clients, we could have just grown even faster. So yeah, it was an interesting question to answer when we'd send them these amazing SEO proposals and show all of the incredible work that we'd done for our own clients. And they'd say, hold on guys, like, why are you not ranking for anything? And we're like, yeah, but we've never worked on that. We've never even tried. We've been so busy with client work. And it just feels really inconsistent. So now we're like, right, we're gonna do it. Yeah, obviously if we'd have started that 5 or 6 years ago, we'd have 5 or 6 years more progress. So that's something I kind of regret. And it's a lesson that I wish I'd learned sooner. One of the things I'm really interested to know is, what are the things that future me is going to wish that I'd known now? So what are the lessons that in this video in 3 years time I'm going to be saying, oh, I wish I knew those in 2019. Now, I've got a feeling that one of them is going to be, I wish we'd thought bigger, because actually thinking big and thinking small pretty much take about the same amount of energy, same amount of decision bandwidth, and pretty much same amount of action, to be honest. It's just bigger. And when we do think bigger, I think it's really going to help us take things to the next level. So I'm really excited to try that. Another thing I suspect I'll be saying, wish we did that sooner, is YouTube. Hello, my name's Tim. We just hit 99. Seeing the awesome team and actually putting more effort and time into YouTube, both for my own personal brand and for Exposure Ninja. The whole reason I'm doing this vlog stuff is obviously to show Luca that YouTube isn't just a consumption platform, it's actually something you can produce on. But also, I'm kind of embracing more the fact that my personal brand can actually help Exposure Ninja and can help grow it. I've been shying away from that a bit because I don't want the impression that Exposure Ninja is just me. We've been working really hard over the last 5 years to show that that's not the case. So I'm kind of reluctant to just put myself out there loads, because then people are going to make that association, which is really something that I don't want to do. This is not like the Tim Cameron Kitchen agency. We have a team of amazing people, all who are contributing loads and loads to this whole thing. So I don't want it to just be the Tim show. I am able to kind of connect with people, and businesses do seem to like what I have to say. So I do have value there. So I've got a feeling that in future I'm going to say, I wish we had embraced YouTube a lot more and a lot earlier. And the final future lesson that I think we might have wanted to learn earlier is about how we package our services. At the moment, within digital marketing, you get these specialist agencies that sell SEO, or they sell content marketing, or they sell pay-per-click. And the conventional wisdom is that you need to specialize in one particular area, or you need to specialize in one particular type of client. Well, I don't believe that at all, because we talk to clients all day, every day that say, we just want a one-stop shop for all our digital marketing. Can you be that? And there are still some areas where we have to say, no, we can't really do that at the moment. Things like developing on different website platforms, for example. We really don't have the specialism in those areas, so we're turning down that work. I think at some point we're going to come up with a killer digital marketing value proposition, which is going to completely revolutionize how people sell digital marketing. It'll probably be some sort of, it's almost like clients want a black box that they feed their digital marketing into and out come the biggest volume of leads and sales possible. And to a certain extent, a lot of clients don't really care if it's SEO or pay-per-click or whatever, email marketing, they don't care where that budget goes. They just want it directed in the most profitable places. Now we're pretty close to that, in that we have a kind of 360 view of digital marketing. We're able to say, right, actually, we think you should be investing more here. But I think we can still take it further to make it a real kind of simple value proposition for clients that just says, we'll take care of all of it. It's almost like we are your CMO, and your CMO has your best interests at heart. We just want to, you don't really care which platforms you're using at all. You just want to know that you're getting the absolute best ROI from your digital marketing budget. So that's where we will get to. At the moment, that decision happens quite slowly if we need to get a client to reapportion their budget. And I think we have the opportunity to come up with a really creative way to do that much more quickly, basically to create a genuinely game-changing product in this industry. And we will definitely do it, but I think it's going to be something that future me wishes we had done sooner. And by the way, if you're interested where I got the topic for this vlog, I didn't really know what to vlog today, and today's Sunday and it's my vlog day, so I needed to do something. So I was on Facebook and I got one of those notifications about, this happened 8 years ago. Facebook reminded me of a photo that I posted 8 years ago, and it's this. This is an article in a drumming magazine. That's me in the photo there at the top. This article was quite a big milestone for me at the time. I don't know if you can see, but I'm actually in a music shop. There's guitars hanging in the background. Now, the reason I'm in a music shop, this particular music shop in Tiverton in Devon, is because I was living with my parents at the time and I was recording drums for people over the internet professionally. That was my job. This is when I started doing what we now call content marketing. Back then, I don't even think it had a name. It was probably PR, to be honest. I actually wrote this article and sent it into the drum magazine. And I took the photo even. I actually set the camera up on a timer and I took this myself. The only thing they changed in this article is the headline. So my headline just said the future of session drumming. And then they added a question mark. So to be fair, I mean, the future of session drumming, calling myself that was pretty arrogant. So I'm glad they added the question mark just to kind of take the edge off things a bit, because I think people would have had something to say about that. But that was a huge moment for me. And it was my life's ambition to be featured in drum magazines, and I'd done it. And it was around that time that I realized that you can be good at absolutely anything you want in life. And I was focused on getting really good at something, which ended up with me living in my parents' house. And I realized that that's because the thing I'd got good at was something that was the result for, right? And I thought, hey, hold on, I could be focused and I could be good at anything. And it was around that time that I decided to start getting really good at marketing, because marketing is a much more universal skill than recording drums for people over the internet. And if we look at where music went, I'm pretty glad that I'm not still an online session drummer, because most music now there's very little drums involved at all. So that's a good thing. But anyway, back to the moral of the story, which is you can be good at anything that you choose to be. And I'd chosen to be good at something which really didn't have that much of a future. So I decided to switch that, become good at marketing instead, because that is something that has a much more universal future. And you know, businesses are always going to need marketers, particularly with things going online. Everything is now more competitive. You can't just be local business and expect to get traffic because you're local. That's really not how things work. You've got to fight for every inch of visibility now if you're a business. So marketing is a great tool to have. Yeah, that's one of the lessons I wish I'd known back then, is that you don't have to focus on what you're doing now. You can genuinely focus and get good at absolutely anything on earth. So pick your battles and choose something that's going to get you to where you want to go. One final thing, this week we passed our major milestone of 100 ninjas, and yeah, it didn't feel any different to when we had 99. Have a good week, see you soon.